Jesse, I'm so excited because you guys have this new album out here. I'm curious, you guys have this 80s synth to your music. There's this beautiful sound, sort of indie pop. Do you guys describe your music in a specific way?
I think it's so hard for us, but definitely, that sounds close and electronic, alternative world, pop, um, yeah. In some aspects, shoegaze. We definitely leaned a little into 80s on this record. I think that's like the little magic sauce, when you do a new record, it's like you don't want to go too crazy and alienate everyone and, you know, people have expectations and we have expectations too. It's like, when Jake and I get together, we do our thing. We don't necessarily know what that thing is. It just comes naturally, but there'll be something new that we're looking to add and I think that is definitely a little of that new order influence like the way I'm singing lower octaves a lot of the time and it's a little more raw vocally, I would say, as opposed to like a lot of high falsetto and stuff. And then just leaning into the synths.
Jacob, who are some of the bands or musicians that influenced you when you were growing up?
Oh, when I was growing up, it was a lot of like the Motown stuff, definitely Beach Boys, Brian Wilson stuff when I was super young. And then when I was like I would say around like 13, I started getting into like punk rock music and some of like the more just like fun, kind of fast, aggressive stuff. I was listening to like a lot of like Misfits and trying to remember now. Like I grew up in Washington D.C., so a lot of like the D.C. local scene was like influencing me. That D.C. like punk community. I was trying to be like a lot of those guys, and yeah, a little bit of everything. Band called Q Not You. I found when I was younger. They're from D.C. that I was like, yeah, super into, and yeah.
This
Yeah, I think it's the same similar thing, like the DIY mindset, the punk mindset, but brought into kind of a alternative electronic pop world. We're still doing everything ourselves.
Well, what is your songwriting process then? Do you have a specific way that you always write your music, Jacob?
Um, I think for us, it usually starts with like Jesse has like a melody sometimes that we feed off of. Sometimes it's just a sound though. Like sometimes it could just be like just a synth sound or someone got a new synth and you want to like learn how to use it. That usually inspires a song. Um and then sometimes I don't know, it's like just usually like the one thing that feels special in that moment is we call it like our jump off point where like you just jump into an idea because this like one drum sound, one synth sound or a vocal melody or maybe just like lyrical phrase Jesse has just kind of inspires like the song.
Yeah, a lot of times I would say we're a band about the music. Like the music is everything to us, and it normally inspires what the song ends up being lyrically and melodically. So we're definitely focused on the beat and the drums. Like drums get us moving, drums and a bass line, and you could hear that in the song "Smile" on the new record. Um, once we start finding whatever that special thing is. If it's a beat, it might be a bass line or a certain chord that we're just like it's moving us. Everything kind of just snowballs from there. And that's kind of what we're searching for when we're starting to create together is that one element that we're both looking at each other like, okay, this feels special. And then we know it's just gonna work out from there basically.
Just the album is out now, as I say, Such That I May Glow. Where did the concept for this come from? I know it's sort of like a snapshot of chaos and a little bit of finding purpose as well. Where did the concept for it, the themes come from?
I think a lot of it was just birthed out of the past like 4 years, coming back to life from the pandemic and stuff and seeing, a lot of people trying to get back into their social communities and be out in the world and realizing that there's been, some disconnections and things and anxiety built up and Like with the song Maniac, a lot of that song is inspired by, road rage incidents that I was seeing online, where it's just like you never know who you're interacting with, and you don't know what's going on in people's mind. And we have definitely, stigma with mental illness in the country and have for a long time. And which means people a lot of times don't get help. And I'm always, telling my girlfriend, like, be careful when you're driving. If someone cuts you off or does anything, like, just let it go. Like, just smile. Like, it's fine. You're traveling 70 miles per hour, which is super dangerous anyway. You don't need to be getting in a fight with anyone, because
Right.
you never know what's going to happen in this country. So many crazy stories. So that's an element of it, especially for the song Maniac. And then Such That I May Glow, title wise, um, obviously comes from the title track, which was an attempt at, you know, a song about positivity. And I'm always trying to figure out, like, what can I do that is positive musically? Because we tend to go, dark, and there's a mysterious, like, wonderful quality to dark music. Um, but it's fun to experiment, to try, like, what can I do that's uplifting, that's like not cheesy, that makes you feel just as strongly as those darker elements do. Um, and the title, Such That I May Glow, is about that we do, and everyone should do what they love, what they're passionate about, because that gives you the fulfillment in life. So it's us making another record, like figuring out how to glow, figuring out how to feel good, like, and it can be tough, but you got to push through. And that goes back to the song Smile, one of our favorites off the record. Like, sometimes you just got to smile. Like, you might not even feel like it, but you know it's like a mental thing. People say smiling makes you feel better, and it's kind of like sarcastic at the same time. I don't know.
Well, Jacob, Jesse just said his favorite song off the album is Smile. Mine is Royalty, and I like Save Us as well. Do you have a particular song that holds a special place in your heart?
I think I like Savis is definitely special just because how it was written so quickly. Like some of the starting the record was really hard for us. It took a long time to figure out like how to start, what we wanted to sound like. I think we are like start getting in your own head, you overthink it. And then active just like beginning was like really tough. But like once we started, I think we wrote like Awkward Bones, Royalty, um, Feels Like Nothing, and What's Wrong, like on a couple days in a row, just like back to back. So then we had those four songs that felt really special. And then the record, and then Save Us came, and the record kind of started to develop. And Jesse had some earlier demos that kind of fit into some of the stuff we were working on that he was able to pull in. And then I think the last song to finish out the record was a song called Heist, All in the Middle. And that was just a fun one. It just like kind of made me feel like that early like 2009 indie sleaze kind of like synth stuff that's just like kind of fun and everyone can kind of like move to, and it's just like high energy and just kind of like yeah. So that I think that's one of my favorite songs, and it kind of was like the last one to round out the record.
You talked a little bit about your songwriting, but how much of a hand do you guys have in the production side of the music that you make?
Oh, 100%. On this record, we didn't use any outside producers or any outside songwriters. So it was just the two of us. And then Jesse actually ended up mixing, I want to say 70% of the record, yeah, something like that.
Oh,
70% of the record. So yeah, this record was definitely an internal I don't even know how you want to say it
Yeah,
thing.
small,
Yeah.
very
thing.
small circle.
Yeah, there was like in our past we loved collaborating with different people. There's always like a third person maybe somewhere along the process, but we wanted to purposely like just make a Fortnite record that was just the two of us. Um and yeah, that's what we did.
This is such a beautiful album for the two of you to release. Have people been reaching out to you? I know it's just recently out, but have you been getting fan feedback already about which songs have touched their hearts and how the need to stay positive is sort of resonating with them as well?
Yeah, so far the feedback's been great. Online, we've seen quite a few people reaching out about Feels Like Nothing, and also The Hive. And sometimes I think we did a very long release cycle, like trying to do focus tracks, giving time for people to digest each song, and we did a lot of music videos. So it's hard to tell if it's like, the album comes out and there's only four tracks people haven't heard. And so, you know, that's why. But I've seen The Hive a bunch. Um, and I think that's a sneaky one. Like it's a longer one. But the synth production I think is really cool on it, and the the idea of the song. Um, but yeah, it's been positive for sure. We're really excited and playing. We just played New York and DC. We're out in LA to play a show tomorrow. So it's been exciting seeing the reaction live and getting to play the songs live.
I was just going to ask you if you guys had already started playing some of the new tracks off the album live. What can fans expect from a live Forward Air performance here, especially in LA now that you guys are performing?
For us, it's all about the energy, like you know, feeling like when I'm singing live, I want to sing like I'm recording, like give it 100%, like tap into that emotion that inspired the song to happen. And I think that's the most important thing with this run. We have projections going on, lining up with the songs for every song. So it's a visual experience as well as an emotional performative experience, um, and trying to really get things loud and pumping and get people moving. But the first two shows were a lot of fun. We're stoked about Los Angeles tomorrow at the Moroccan Lounge.
Okay, what's next? Are you guys back in the studio soon then for more music?
Yeah, we kind of already started working on some new stuff a couple months ago, and it's going well. And we're excited to start putting out music a lot quicker than maybe before this record. So I think we have some good momentum going. There's still some good like creative energy pent up, and yeah, I think the momentum's there. So probably new music very soon, sooner than you would think.
Are there some collabs you have in the works by chance? Maybe a dream collab you guys would love to have, Jesse?
Oh, I think we have a possible remix trade coming. Um, and what else do we have going?
Yeah, there's like some stuff we've been working on, like maybe like collaborating. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna happen yet or not, so I probably shouldn't.
Don't jinx
Yeah, I don't know,
anything.
but I will say a dream collab would be we were talking about maybe like because the record has like a dark '80s undertone, doing like getting like Egyptian Lover to do like a remix of a song or like his own take on a song would be a lot of fun. Just because I was into his record, his old record a lot when we were working on some of the stuff. So that'd be cool. Throwing that out there, maybe it finds them, maybe it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. We're always down to collaborate. We're pretty easygoing and like making stuff with other artists, and something good always happens when you're in this room with somebody.
Okay, Jacob, what would you like to say then to everybody who are fans and supporters of Foreign Air that continue to support your band?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to say thank you so much. It's been a fun journey over the last 10 years almost coming up soon. So yeah, just thank you for being there and allowing us to do this, obviously, and listening to music, coming to shows. It's so good to we're like started seeing a lot of familiar faces, especially at the New York and DC show. That was really amazing just to see people still like care about Foreign Air and us and coming out and want to support us and be in the same room with us and celebrate with us. Yeah, it's all been very, very special on these release shows.
And what about you, Jesse?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, it's amazing to see people coming out, and all the love online that we've seen because we're coming up on 10 years, I think, of releasing music, Jacob and I together. So it's really awesome to be able to continue to release music and do what we love, and that's all because of people listening to the record. So thanks so much for streaming it, watching the videos, coming out to the show. Um, yeah, but that's everything to us.